Decision fatigue is destroying your performance, okay? It's preventing you from achieving the goals that you wish to achieve, and it's not allowing you to operate at a higher level. So decision fatigue, as you probably understand from the term now, quite self-explanatory. It is fatigue from the amount of decisions we need to make each and every day. So some of the decisions that you make as an entrepreneur are very, very important. Of course, they are. Some of the decisions you make as a parent, as a partner, are again very important. But a vast majority of the decisions we make in a day, in our lives, in our businesses, don't really matter. And it's our job, or it's your job as an entrepreneur wanting to operate at a higher standard and obviously hold themselves to higher standards and wanting to achieve higher goals, is to understand which decisions matter and which decisions don't matter. So link it across now to time management. It's a good example of it. As an entrepreneur wanting to build a business and wanting to improve, whatever it is, the bottom line, the product, the service, whatever it is, okay, you should always be spending time in tasks or activities that are important but not urgent, okay? The worst time you could be spending doing activities that fall into the non-important, non-urgent quadrant, okay? So again, we need to be spending time in the important, non-urgent. Now, I don't want to go too much down the time management thing here, but the fact that it's non-urgent often means it can get pushed off. And eventually, week after week, when it gets pushed off, the impact of that shows in the results or the dividends that you don't manage to achieve. So we need to be aware of all the time decision fatigue. So again, just to touch on what I said before, decision fatigue is when you're making too many choices that often don't really matter and they're wasting too much energy up here. We need to think to ourselves, your energy is too valuable. I've only got 168 hours in a week. I need to make sure that I'm using my time effectively and also using my energy effectively. Now, I'm a morning person and I know that the most productive time for me is in the morning. It definitely is. So one of the daily disciplines I have, 4:45, Monday to Friday, I get up, 5:15, 5:30 on a Saturday or Sunday, something like that. Got a clear get up time, clear morning routine, clear bedtime, clear pre-bed routine. I'm quite boring in the fact that I have just one or two breakfasts, the same breakfast each week. 1, 2, 3, maybe dinners, lunch, whatever you want to call it, each week. But in that way, it's me reducing the number of decisions I need to make and therefore keeping hold of more energy up here, which will allow me to spend time with, building up my businesses, building up the property portfolio, working with mentees. So again, don't brush off decision fatigue as though it's just like a fad that isn't, or something like that. How can that matter? Of course it matters. Everything should be about you improving your game, you raising your game, you elevating yourself to higher levels, and operating at higher standards, and surrounding yourself with people that operate at higher standards. So, you're always the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if those 5 people are earning average incomes, they lead average lifestyles, they lead average, houses, that type of thing, there's nothing wrong with that for them. But the fact that you're probably watching this however minutes into the video suggests that you're already a high achiever, or you want to achieve more, you want to perform at a higher level, and you know you're capable of more, means that you always need to be analysing your circle of who you're spending time with. Being a martial artist, again, you may be one of the school owners that I work with here. You must understand now that a white belt, first ever belt, is always going to learn a lot more from the higher belts. Now, that's not to say that a black belt doesn't learn anything from lower grades. Of course they do. But it's a lot more likely that the white belt is going to learn more from those that have travelled ahead. So where am I getting at with that? I'm getting at the fact that if you're the highest earner in your group, if you, have the most successful business in your group, if you have material things, the nicest car, or go on, I don't know, more holidays than anybody else, have the biggest house, whatever materialistically, then you need to find yourself a bigger group if you're wanting to achieve higher levels, okay? You're always going to raise yourself to the standard in which you're working with all the time, okay? Sink or swim, quite simple as that. But getting back to what I said before, decision fatigue is massively impacting your performance. So what are you going to do about it? That's the thing. You could start tomorrow by thinking, right, I'm just going to make sure that I'm getting these few decisions made today so that tomorrow I don't even have to think about it, the decision's been made. But when it comes to your business, I understand what it's like. Things happen during the day, and that's why you need to plan for these things to happen. But conserve as much energy as you can to do the high value tasks, the things that move the needle the most, the things that, again, 80-20 principle, that you put 20% effort in but generate 80% of the results, okay? Or you spend 20% of the time on but generate 80% of the results. I talk a lot about Pareto's principle and obviously lots of other things to my mentees on the Black Belt Performance group, but decision fatigue, try and understand it. Understand that, yes, it might not appear much, but it definitely will have an impact on yourself. Now, if you're an entrepreneur wanting to operate at higher standards, wanting to think clearer, wanting to make better decisions, wanting to achieve goals, that's the main thing as well, then apply for mentorship, okay? Have a look at the Black Belt Performance Group. The link may be in the comments below. If not, check out the website. Have a look at my website, dervish.com. And it all boils down to you wanting to be the sensei in the room. If you want to be the sensei in the room in your specific level of expertise, then there's a lot of things that surround that, okay? And again, that's what I teach through my Black Belt method. So take care, good luck, maybe like the video if you want, subscribe as well. But just one more time, just a quick recap. Decision fatigue is massively impacting your performance, which as a result impacts the standards that you operate at and the levels that you operate at, okay? If you're serious about, like I said, operating at a higher level, serious about taking steps further forward to building a better business, a better life, then check out the link below, apply for mentorship, and we'll see if we're a good fit. Have a look at the Black Belt Performance Group. Good luck, all the best. Short video, so if I jumped around a lot there, but hopefully it helps a few people. Take care.